My guest today is Christine Morci, who's an entertainer, producer, and movie consultant, and most recently, the creator of the new hit show, Miracles Around You. Welcome to my show, Christine.
Hi, James. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a really big fan of your show. I think you're awesome, and I'm just honored to be on your interview.
I appreciate that. It's so funny. My listeners don't know this, but I paid her to say that. She and I are really good friends. I'm just kidding. No, I've really gotten it. I've loved it. It's hysterical. I've had so much fun getting to know you the past, 3-4 months. It's been a blast. So I always love that late night textings that we do. It's silly stuff, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Now, you started in the entertainment world as a professional dancer. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I started, actually my mother started taking me to ballet classes when I was like 7 years old. So I got into dance in so many ways, starting at a young age. I was even getting trophies and doing competitions and things by high school and dancing on point. And while I was in Michigan, I actually had a dance show that was a cable TV show for about a year. And that actually was a dance variety show. So we had every aspect of any kind of ethnic dance, any kind of ballet, everything you could imagine. And so, and I was going back and forth to New York taking dance classes, so I could, kind of stay on top of things and everything. And then, like someone from New York came, saw me dance, and then, discovered me, quote unquote. Yeah. And then they said, if you move to New York, you can be in my dance troupe. And then I moved to New York. It was my passion. I loved it. And so I did it. I was like,
that's
honored.
great.
I couldn't believe it. It was like exciting. Yeah.
That is huge. So, and then from there, you met so many amazing people. I know because New York is amazing. I mean, everybody has like 20 jobs and they're all like amazing at each job. Is that kind of how things rolled out for you as well?
Yeah. It's a land of opportunity, New York. I mean, America is okay, but New York is just that magnified. And so I was meeting people in the dance world, and then from there it was people in the film world. And so I did some things with films that were, on TV for a while. There were series. The one thing, there was a documentary that was a primetime special with some famous people in it. And so I worked on those things, and then plus I worked on what I wanted to work on, which was my show and a script and some other things like that. Yeah. I started that like over 10 years ago, trying to do this show, but then something happened and it fell apart. The producer got sick, so we didn't do it. And then I dropped the show for 10 years, and I started it back about a few years ago. And then the process again of looking for the right producer, because it's all about having the right people. Yeah,
that's it, exactly. And that's a wonderful lesson in itself. Is we can go far with our life, but when we surround ourselves with the healthy people and the right people, that's when things just launch. That's what we call synergy. Synergy is the energy that we all have together, that lumps together, that moves us all up. And so you've met some amazing people. In fact, Stephen O'Connor from Brushwood Media, amazing person. I work with him, you work with him. Love him. He's fantastic. So if anybody wants a new manager, contact Stephen O'Connor at Brushwood Media Group. Just don't steal him from us. Just kidding.
No, right. He's the you know what? If you find the right foundation, the right people, and he's awesome like nobody. And so having found that was, my miracle. And so that's what I'm going on with it now. Yeah.
It's amazing. And then from there, because we're talking about what the show is about in just a second, but you have an amazing host. Tell us who the host is. Yeah. My new friend as well, which we text all the time as well. It's so silly. Right? We're like little boys.
No, this is Nathan Osmond. Yeah. As we know, he is the nephew of Donnie and Marie Osmond, but he's a fabulous entertainer. He has a podcast called Achieving Awesomeness, which is, when I heard that, I thought, oh my God, we are so aligned, just like you and I are. And you and he are, and like he's a wonderful person as well as being totally talented and a great host. Gosh, yeah. And so he's got a big heart, and so it was so
genuine.
Absolutely. You called him authentic, and that's exactly what he is. So I was just lucky that Kenny Lee, another producer, actually found this, him for us, and he was all over. He loved it. This grandmother started the Children's Miracle Network, so it was kind of a perfect fit. So I was lucky to have Nathan. Absolutely.
And the sizzle reel, you have to definitely watch the sizzle reel. So miraclesaroundyou.tv, that has the sizzle reel as well. You'll see Nathan's interview on my show, and you also see this interview on there as well. So I know you're going to plug it at the end. But I also want to ask you, so just tell us about the show, Miracles Around You. It's a phenomenal name. Tell us about what the content is, the idea is behind it.
Yeah, so the show's about combining the reach of television and the power of the internet, so that people with opportunity get together and create outstanding outcomes. And we focus on these positive outcomes. And I chose the word miracles because it has a high bar and a broad scope. Yeah. And, they're large miracles, small miracles, relative, they're relevant though. They actually people attribute them to luck, synchronicity, divine intervention, mind over matter, extreme action, or cutting edge science, all kinds of things like that. But the fact is that one thing that they do is they create an awe-inspiring effect. They create the wow factor, and then people, focus on this positive kind of thing. And then what happens is it's a forum where people can talk about these stories that happened in their lives. They're different than what everybody else has heard, and we can be inspired then by these stories from different people from different walks of life. Yeah. And if they have a miracle, then, well, if it happened to them, we teach the how and why it happened to them. Yeah. So then they say it can happen to me too. And then, you can be inspired and get your faith up and your belief and your hope up.
Yes,
and then I think, what you see and what you feel and what you focus on is what grows and magnifies, and when you energize it, that's what manifests for you in your life. And so we can learn from that. Call it functional entertainment, basically.
Love it. Yeah. Yeah, it was very similar to my show. My TV show is coming out as well.
It is,
but you think about a coin, you bring the coin to your eye, that's all you're going to see. So if you're always looking for whether we realize it or not, our conscious mind is aware of our surroundings. So if I look around here, I'm not in studio right now, I'm at home, but if I look around here, I can say, well, first off, I need to do my dishes. That's the one. But the other thing is, when I look around, if I see whatever it is, I'll focus on certain things. And that's the struggle, because if I'm always looking for the same thing all the time, that's all I'm going to see. So the goal with your show is to create the idea of the excitement of, well, if I don't really like where my life is right now and I want something different, well, then I need to look for something different. And so your show really creates that excitement of, okay, well, if it's happened for these people, really well-known people to not so well-known people, how can I have that be in my life? And so now with that coin, we move it back and we can now see the world around us. And that's super exciting. And that's when miracles start to happen, because for some people it falls into people's lap, but for most people, it doesn't, because you have to look for it. I've often seen on social media, people will be like, today I'm going to win $1 million, or today I'm going to get the best job of my life, and which is great. But then I want to follow up and be like, well, did you apply for that job? Did you do this? Did you do that? And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's great to have faith, but there's always needs to be action behind your faith and to be prepared for that. Yeah. So preparation is to look for something. You're preparing to find something, because that's work, is to look. That's an action. So that's one thing like I said, your show really instills that excitement, so that people can create that work and that energy to be able to find the stuff around them. What did you see in the world around you that says, we need this show today? I know it was supposed to be 10 years ago, but as of today, all the synergy for you and your own miracle worked out. What was it that says today is the day it needs to be made?
Oh my God, I just think the timing is amazing, because 10 years ago, I had the celebrities and ordinary people's stories. Now I brought in the internet, where you can, it's kind of a journey where you can actually take people from, where they are, and to help them fulfill their dreams, to match them with people, to use what they know to get what they want. And so I brought the internet section in so that we can get people at the grassroots level, so that they don't just watch the show, and so they actually see other people do great things, and they say, well, that's great for them, but in this way they can actually participate and interact. And I think that's really important, because no other show has that, where, we bring in people from, the audience and bring it into the actual segment of the show, so they can be in it. And they can be, can actually really happen to me, So it's needed now, especially because obviously COVID, so many people, there's so many, things, you're psychologists, and you know how depressed and down people have gotten because of this. And they look at the worst instead of like, well, okay, there's some good things that came out of this. Let me focus on those positive things. And let's continue to, and make greater what's positive. Not just, let's say, oh, well, if you positive happens, but things happen, but this other thing, like the economy is down, or people are not. What are they going to do? They don't have their jobs, and they don't know what they're going to be when they grow up, even if they are grown up. When we try to help people to figure out what steps that we can take that are higher, bigger, and better than what they already have done, and like that they actually put a little action and effort into who they are, what they have already, and something really big and unexpected can happen, something that can pay off big time, even more than they thought.
Certainly.
We really need this now because of what's happened with COVID, and just the fact that we need the whole world to change in so many ways. Climate, diversity, financially, all kinds of ways, health, everything.
But prior to COVID, loneliness and isolation were one of the major contributing factors why people were dying early. And you have heart attack, all that as well. But those are usually, obviously those are the physicality of it, but people can actually die from a broken heart, et cetera. Yeah. So when the loneliness and isolation are the prevalent or pervasive environmental situations which causes people's bodies to break down. And so that was pre-COVID is when that happened. So I can't imagine what the statistics are now, and it's so sad. But I love that your show really unifies people in so many ways to help them say, it's been a really long year because we were pretty much in quarantine for a full year, and then things started to slowly open up. And that loneliness is so pervasive. So the fact that you have this wonderful aspect of the internet to have people put in their own shows and connect with the show, it reduces that, because not everybody wants to watch TV, not everybody wants to go out, or et cetera, but you are really removing that wall, if you will, to connect with the people in the audience, to connect with Nathan, with you, with all the different celebrities and people you have on there. So I think it's phenomenal. I love the fact that nobody's ever done that before, at least to my knowledge or to your knowledge. And it's a wonderful cutting edge idea. And obviously that's why the show is going to be so successful. When you think about everything as well, let me back up. So 10 years ago, this was supposed to happen. It didn't happen. Of course, you were disappointed. Walk me through the disappointment to today. In other words, there's always, if there's a right timing, there's a wrong timing. Right. So when you look back, what was the lesson of 10 years ago to today? Okay, so when, the show got stopped basically by a mosquito, because dengue fever is what the guy had. And I thought, oh my God, and then the other script that I had, a very world famous producer wanted to do that screenplay, and something personal happened with him and he couldn't do it. So I kind of got involved in something completely different than those shows, because I thought, these are being digested. These are here. They're not going anywhere. When the timing is right, even though I thought the timing was right then, maybe it's right some other time, I'll just wait and like let the universe, God, tell me when and how and where to do it. And so just a few years ago, I met not Steven, but another producer, and he saw it, the proposal, and he said, this has to be done. This is needed. I had already started doing the internet part of it. And so he encouraged me, and then I thought, well, oh my God, this is what's missing. The timing now is right, because now I can use the internet, which I couldn't really use before, in the same kind of way, And now I have something that I think is whole. And without the internet part, I think that it's missing a piece. Yeah. So exactly. Now is the time to do it. Now was the time to do it. It's perfect timing. And that's the way things work when they're working right, I think, organically and synchronistically. And I think that's and I think that's the struggle. Like I'll speak for myself, because my show is the TV show was put on hold because of COVID, et cetera. And yours, though, 10 years plus. I don't like patience. Apparently, I get to learn it all the time because I still struggle with it. But you, for 10 years, how did you deal with the waiting? Because I think that there's a lesson there as well. How did you deal with that? Well, I got myself involved in some other projects, which I enjoyed. I have a lot of different kinds of things that I like to do. I was in a relationship, and I got involved in something completely different, and I just got into it, and I still wrote, I still have ideas. I kept coming up with different aspects of, ways to make this better and better and better. I was writing, we're kind of writing a book about the whole thing and doing research, and
there's a lot of research to be done about, market validation and that kind of thing. And I was seeing that actually people were actually going toward the good now. It's like, wow, there's a good news show, and there's like Oprah even, and all these kind of shows are looking at things that are more positive. And so I was thinking, this is better now to do it, because it's better to do it when somebody else is doing it as well as yourself. Like if you're the only one, everybody's going to say you're weird. But if there are a lot of people starting to, the market is not saturated, but it's gotten bigger. So it's
of course, and people are drawn to that because nobody wants to always see. Nobody always wants to see. Everything, you turn on the news, and I have wonderful news reporter friends, but the news can be very doom and gloom at times. And it's like, oh my gosh, I want to hear something different. What I've learned in the patience aspect of it, because once again, I need to learn that more. But what I've learned is when you're ready for something and you're super ready, 100% ready. And then the waiting period, if you're not still honing your skills and continuing to evolve or continuing to, like you said, you research, you did other things, you kept your skills really sharp. And so what I found, like the first couple months, I slowed down a bit. So my 100% thinking that it was supposed to happen at this time, my 100% of availability and I'm ready. Over time, I realized that it was on like an 80% and like a 70%. And then I realized, and the major lesson for me is, regardless of when it's supposed to happen, the waiting period, you have to stay sharper than you were initially. Because over time, that starts to decline. So that was a huge lesson I learned, is in the waiting. James, how are you sharper? How are you more ready? How are you more, what are you practicing? What are you doing every single day? So therefore, when it happens, you're even more prepared than you were initially. And that's why it's going to be even better. Because if there's a pause for some reason, then we may never know what it is, but we know that we're going to be better than we were because now we're even more prepared for it. And so I think that waiting time is a real powerful lesson, as annoying as it is, because patience, once again, can be annoying. But that's a wonderful lesson to grow and develop exponentially, because when it does open up again, you are so much more prepared for it, and you appreciate it even so much more. And then when it happens, everything literally blows up for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I even remember, my father said to me when I was young, he said, always try to go for the best, try to be the best, go to the top, don't stop yourself and don't block yourself. And I kind of took that with a grain of salt until when I was living in New York, which I lived there for over 20 years, I met a shaman from the Amazon, and he said to me, take your bow and arrow and find that highest and brightest star in the sky and point it at that star and hit that star. When you aim for it, you'll hit it. And it's kind of this is what happened. It was like all this preparation and everything, but the actual point of actually getting it done, it happened at the right time. And when I actually saw that star right in front of me, and then it happened. So things started unfolding, and everything was synchronistic. It just like magic. It happened. So
and even now with just before you guys will be filming very soon as well, it seems like a little bit that I know on this side, as you and I are texting back and forth, but it seems like you're meeting so many more people, and the synergy of this person and that person and this and this, and it just seems like it's. And like I said, I don't know the momentum before, but from what I've gleaned from what you've been texting me, it seems like the momentum is going faster and faster and faster, and which all of a sudden links more excitement and more synergy, and as things just literally unfold for you.
That is exactly what's happening. I mean, it's happening at the speed of light. Practically, it's kind of like I don't even know where to go with this stuff. It's just overwhelming almost.
Yeah.
But we're going to follow every lead, and there's so much more. There's so much potential in this show because, celebrities champion a cause with their brand. And so I've now met people who know celebrities kind of a thing. And they all have these causes that they want to get out and talk about. And they're like excited to do that. And so they're, coming toward me. I mean, and the networking is amazing because, they really want their message to go across. And, the positive use of star power creates breakthroughs for people very quickly. And so we're going to use that. But it's just so many people coming now. So
and I think that's the thing, regardless of how I'm sorry to cut you off there. I got lost in a thought there. I always think that the more well-known a person is, we have a responsibility to use our platform to make the world a better place, or a healthier place. That's a better way to say it. Because in that, it is something where we're to use that and squander it and not do something about it. And obviously there's no judgment if people do or don't do it. But I know for you and for me and the celebrities that we know, that's what they do. And that's a beautiful thing, because the more God, the universe gives, the more we should give back. And so it needs to be that reciprocal aspect of it, because if you hoard something, well, you hoard it and then what? Because there's always a pendulum swing. And so you always want to make sure you give back. Yeah,
like I've heard people say, well, if you give something and more than one person knows about it, then you haven't given it. It's not, you shouldn't advertise. I've heard people, a famous person in fact said that. But and that's okay in some cases. I'm not saying that that's bad, and in some cases true.
Of course.
But because in this show we're going to teach the how and why people, did what they did. This becomes then a teaching lesson, and you can model these people. So from that, then you can grow. And when you grow, then you're actually helping more than just keeping it to yourself. So we just want people to shout it over the rooftop when they have a way to teach us how to do something that they've done that maybe nobody else can figure out how to do. So, it's really important, to get that message. We'll all level up together. Yeah. Christine Morci, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on my show. Thank you so much. If my listeners want to find out more information about you, to watch the sizzle reel, to watch the interview on Nathan on my show, to watch this again, and to learn, like I said, everything about miracles around you, where would they find this information online? Okay, so our website is called miraclesaroundyou.tv. Perfect. It. Wonderful. My listeners know that if they can't find this information any other place, simply go to the show notes at jamesmillerlifeology.com. And the name of the show is Miracles Around You with Christine Morci. So, Christine, thank you so much for being a wonderful guest on my show today. I had a wonderful time with you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I did too, James. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Love it. Thank you. Take care.